Zesty Paws multivitamins from dogs. I guess we need to start doing multivitamins too, huh? Do you give your dogs multivitamins?
No.
Well, they have multivitamins and I have Cognition and cotton candy grape.
Oh, cotton candy.
I was beat this morning.
Why?
I think because we stayed up late that night and trying to get back on the schedule from being away on a 3-hour time differential. You notice that or no?
I'm a little
Jet lag. Yeah.
And I was up at 3 in the morning and I had to have a shake because I was so hungry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, normally I don't wake up and I'm in hunger pains, but for some reason I was just hungry. And I had a pretty good meal, that last meal, Angie. I had chicken and rice.
Me too.
You had a Mega Fit meal, so. What is that?
When you go to the bathroom, you drop one of these in there.
Let me see this so we can show it to YouTube.
And it cleans your toilet when you go.
Oh, nice.
Before you go, Poopery potty pods.
Yes.
Have you seen those before?
I've never seen that
So
before.
you drop it in the toilet,
Okay.
and before you go to the bathroom, and then it cleans your toilet. And it doesn't stink.
Leave it to Angie to find stuff like that.
She does a lot of research, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, where you research maybe other stuff, where researches, okay, what can we do for the dogs? And what can we do for Jay's bathroom breaks? Did I ever tell you that story when I did that seminar? I don't know where I was. And first question is, how many times a day do you take a shit?
Oh my God. Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
1,000 people in the audience.
Oh my God.
And it's like, you know, it's not one of those things you think about,
I know.
but
You have to think, you have to stop and think about it. Like,
I mean, I was thinking like 3 or 4 times a day at that point, because I mean, that's when I was eating
yeah.
7, 8 meals.
That's what I would say too, I guess. What a question.
I know.
Did you say pass?
No, I mean, I'm a truthful. I don't really hide a lot of stuff, you know. But I always, you know, it made me think like, wow, the questions that come about, you know, you can ask someone how do you get bigger arms or calves or like, you know what I get mostly now is what is your training split?
Oh, yeah.
I get that because everyone's trying to figure out like what the best training split is to, you know, to put on muscle and like maybe, I mean, I think people's logic should be, and it should be this with anything, and this is maybe the American way, or I would think, okay, how can I get the most amount of work done with the least amount of effort or time? So meaning, you know, value your time a little better. And you know what the problem is people's time is wasted is this.
I know.
Social media has destroyed people's focus to the point where I believe everyone says they have attention deficit disorder.
Yeah. You have to put the phone away when you train, dude.
Well, I think you need to put the phone away, period, when you're trying to run a business. I know for myself, listen, I can pack and ship the memorabilia items, and I have shirts and I have like a bunch of stuff. I can't be on the phone talking to someone and talking about the weather and this and appearances, and that I need to focus on the task at hand. And I think it's really hard when you have an earpiece in your ear and you're just, okay, you're available.
You're distracted. Yeah.
Because, dude, I remember the day. I remember my dad, you know, we had the dial phones. And I was more excited when my dad got the super long cords. We had a cord that, you know, you hung the phone up on the wall like this, and the cord would be like that. But my dad, we bought this long cord, so we could literally walk across the room, bro. I could sit at this here and talk on the phone. So it was nice because you could lay down and talk to your girlfriend, right? And I remember my dad came home. We had a huge party at my house. My sisters and brothers. This is when I was young. And my dad came home, and there were so many people there that he couldn't find his kids.
Oh my God.
In his own house. So he left, drove back to work, which was 7 minutes away, and called and said, hey, I'm looking for my kids. You know, I'm looking for Joyce or Bob or whoever. And finally he got him on the phone. He's like, I was just at the house, but I couldn't find you guys. You know,
Wow.
I'm coming home, you know.
Kick everyone out.
No, just, yeah, he didn't care. That's how my dad was, though.
Wow.
But
What a cool dad.
we had some of the biggest parties ever, man.
Wow.
I had a sandpit party in high school, and it was like there was 400 kids there for
Oh
sure.
my God.
Yeah, and you don't expect it. It's like as soon as someone says Cutler party Friday night, like everyone's looking for okay, what's there to do? You know, you're in high school.
The word gets out.
So it was like okay. And, you know, dude, listen, kids are going to drink. They're going to bring their own beers, whatever. So I said, okay, I said to my sister, let's collect keys. You know, because we had that long, you remember the
Yes.
long driveway to
Yes.
go down to the back.
Yes.
You were there.
Yeah.
And so we stood at right at the road, and then my sister collected the keys. And people would be like, okay, you know, park their cars or whatever right there on the side of the road. And what we realized is a lot of people were giving keys, and then they were going up like a little further up and walking out, and they had extra set of keys. You know, because back then it wasn't, you know, today we have keys that are $400 or whatever, the key, right?
Yeah,
it has electronics
Right,
in it.
right.
Back then it was just a bullshit. You could go to the local hardware store and
Make a copy.
Make a copy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you didn't want people to go home because they drank? They would have to sleep there?
They would have someone else drive responsible or get a ride.
That's
Back
smart.
then there was no Ubers, taxis,
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So it's like, oh, call my parents or whoever and
Yeah.
drunk, you know?
Yeah.
Some parents didn't understand, but it's so crazy. My dad never took his keys out of his car ever.
Yeah.
I remember if we took any keys out of our car in high school, my dad would lose his top.
Really?
Yes, because in case it needed to be moved in the
Yeah,
driveway, and we had we had an open driveway, bro. We had a quarter-mile driveway long, and we'd have cars all over the place. But my dad, in case someone needed to use a vehicle or whatever, so my brother would come down. You know, my brother would come down there and like use the trucks and stuff and drive, like just pick stuff up and like you go down there and like go look for a vehicle and it was gone.
Did you guys ever lock your doors?
We didn't even have locks on our doors.
Oh my God.
We had the handle that had no, it was just a handle.
Yeah. Wow. People are so trusting back
Well,
east.
dude, I mean, we
back
had
then.
guns and, you know what I mean? Like back then, honestly, I mean, back then you could like, even in our town, like people, if they got caught driving drunk, they drove you home a lot, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And people didn't sue people and they got into car accidents, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's a super small town. I mean,
know.
everyone knows everyone. So
I
if
know.
like your neighbor rear ends you, you're not like, oh, I'm suing the insurance company. And dude, that's America. You know, you talk about make America great again.
Yeah. I love the old days.
I mean,
I know.
make America great again. I mean, community neighborhoods like that, man. It was like
know.
we grew up in
I miss that.
like everyone knew everybody.
Yeah, I know. It's
And
nice.
everyone supported everyone, and like if someone had to move, like the neighbors came over. There was no like, who can I call?
Yeah.
Like literally, if they saw action, the neighbors came over, and like, hey, what can we help with?
That's awesome. That's great.
That's the kind of town I grew up in, and our whole street was Cutlers. So like my aunts, uncles, all my relatives lived on one street.
Wow. Yeah, I miss that.
So it was a lot different. I don't know how it was where you grew up, but
Yeah, it was pretty small town too. It was kind of, I mean, it wasn't like a farm town, but I'm telling you, I think, you know, I'd love to retire
You know what's funny
Little.
is we had a town parade like on the special days, like 4th of July,
Yeah.
Memorial Day.
Yeah, yeah.
And we had like a town band, you know, so the band would play, and they would make these floats. You know what a float
Yeah,
is?
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
So they would build this, like this community would get together and they'd say, okay, we're gonna build, like I remember one was like a jail, like a rolling jail, and people were locked in the jail, you know, and it's so funny because you think, oh my God, I can't wait for this parade. It's a buildup, and there's like 5 floats or like 4 floats.
Right, yeah.
And then it's the band and people marching,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
flags, and the,
Were
you know,
ever,
the Legion.
Were you ever in a
group.
parade?
I think I was in it one time.
Yeah, when you were little?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I thought that was the coolest thing. I'm like,
I'm sure.
man, I made it. I'm in a parade, you know?
I'm sure. Yeah.
But you don't hear about that in our
Actually, it's
area,
funny.
do
I was when I was still training with Steve. You know, Big Steve,
Mm-hmm.
who was gonna get you in the movies. He was living in the Pacific Palisades, and they would do that for every 4th of July.
They did, huh?
I've been there. Yeah, it's nice. Everyone gets in the streets, and yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, I miss that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's fun.
Those are the things, when you think about, like, times. Angie and I were just talking about something last night, and I said, man, do you remember those times we were talking about, I think we were watching Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, the new one?
No, we were watching part 2.
Okay.
And I said, I saw this in the movie theater. And it was one with Bridget Nielsen, you know, the blonde girl.
Yes.
And Stallone's ex-wife.
Do you know that Stallone was actually supposed to be the one that played Axel Foley,
Really?
and he turned it down? So
Wow.
Eddie Murphy got it. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Eddie Murphy was great at it.
Yeah.
But I think Stallone was like Cobra then or whatever.
Hmm.
But I was watching and I said, you know, I saw this in the movie theater. I remember after Beverly Hills Cop, how I must have watched it on VHS hundreds
Yeah, it was
hundreds
great.
of times. Okay, I knew the movie by heart. I saw 2 at the movie theater, Beverly Hills Cop 2, and I literally when it came on the screen, I said, I remember sitting in the theater watching this. I said, what a time that was! Like, what you saw advertisements on TV. Because remember, you know, you were limited, like you a certain amount of time you sat and watched the television, right? And this is the television, the tube televisions, like, you know, they're actually a wooden thing with a screen on it. You know, they sit on the floor, not a hanging thin screen, you know? And you'd sit there with the family and you'd watch it or whatever, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till this movie comes out. And we'd count the days down.
Yeah.
And when it would launch out, say if it was like June 19th or something, and we'd like, okay, we're gonna go to the movies, I'm gonna see it. And I remember actually going to the movies and seeing that film.
Oh, yeah.
I saw everything. I saw Purple Rain in the movie theater.
Oh,
Prince.
yeah.
There's certain movies I remember. Say Anything. You remember that movie? Say Anything. That was
No.
good. I saw Better Off Dead in the movie theater. That
Okay.
was John Cusack. Man, there was so many
Rocky
films.
4.
I saw,
remember.
yeah.
That was awesome. I felt like
Yeah,
that
I
for
saw
Rocky
one of the
4.
Star Wars. I forget. I think Return of the Jedi. I think I
Yeah.
saw that in the movie theater. I remember the movie theater was so packed. I'm not kidding. We had to sit on the floor.
No way.
In the aisle, yes.
They would let you do that?
They
Wow.
let us do it back then.
Wow.
I don't think they cared about the fire stuff and whatever. But I remember we sat on the floor because it was so. I remember walking in and the place, you know, a movie theater was like. But think about that. Think about that. You'll never see that again.
I know.
You'll never see a packed movie theater like that in any place that we go to. It might happen in the small places, and you guys can
Maybe.
tell me
Yeah.
that maybe work at the movie theaters or whatever, but like you would sit there and they would do those ads over and over and over on television, like what's coming up. Remember when Terminator was, I saw Terminator 2, and Terminator 2 was I'll be honest, I don't give it enough credit, but that was the turning point of me being like, I am going to pursue a bodybuilding lifestyle.
1990. Yeah.
Was it 90?
Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah.
It was like July.
Yeah.
It was July something it was launched out. Someone probably could figure out when it came out, but Dude, I watched Terminator 2
That was a
and
good
I
one.
thought Arnold was so jacked. And I looked at Hollywood, I looked at California,
Yeah.
and I looked at that life and I said, I have to get there. I have to get there, and bodybuilding is going to be the way for me to escape out of here. And I saw it in Leominster, Mass at Searstown Mall. And it was, I remember leaving there and the people, dude, it was packed. People were just leaving and you were just in a crowd of people, like a parade of people. And everyone's like cheering and so happy after seeing the movie. And
Isn't it funny that when you come from a small town, all you want to do is leave?
I know, it's sad.
I know.
Because I had such a great life, and I look at, like I said, I envy my brothers, and like we just came back. You know, I actually said to Angie yesterday, I said, fuck, I'd like to go to Boston this weekend. You know? I'm actually like, I was like, man, let's go stay for a few more days. And she's like, I've never seen you so relaxed as you were when you were there.
It's good.
She said that to me.
It's good. I feel like that too. I think as we get older, it's like you want that peace and quiet.
Well,
and
I think you know, I've settled in now. Like I'm, you know, not to say that I'm not super motivated to still do bigger, better things, but like I'm, like, you know what I mean? Time can stand still, and it's like I'm in a good spot.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can honestly say, like, if you look at life achievement, yes, there's so much more to do, and you know, and what it is, but like
it's like full circle.
I mean, listen, a lot of people, you know, they're raising families and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, you know, that really wasn't ever my goal. I know there's a lot of questions on
Yeah.
that, and it's like people have to understand my background and how I grew up. You know, I was an uncle when I was 9.
Wow.
So I literally was like babysitting. I hate to say babysitting. I was just a caretaker
Yeah.
to my sisters and brothers' children
Yeah.
consistently as a teenager.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like, man, like those kids, like I watched them grow up from, you know, from young
birth, yeah.
infants and,
Yeah.
and you know, was one of those things where I think bodybuilding, you know, when you have a specific goal, it becomes a lot of selfishness too. But it was just not like I'd never found that urge. You know,
Yeah.
never, like I said, I never woke up in the morning and said, man, I want to raise a family, and you know, and people might not understand that, but listen, it's everyone's doing. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's going to have different thought process to what they do. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Everyone's different.
You know, I really wanted to, like I said, I want to continue to you know, have the freedom to what I do, and you know, I don't ever wake up regretting that. You know, so
Yeah.
let's go walk.
Okay.
And, you can't go. You already went. So let's walk a little bit, and then
right.
we'll get it in there.
Okay.
Again, Dave.
Again, it's gonna cost him a fortune.
Yeah, our power bill is crazy because of the
Ugh.
evaporation. I mean, our water bill from the evaporation of the pool. You know,
Oh.
it's constantly refilling.
Yeah.
I think the weather's, you know, I was saying to Angie yesterday how you know, since we came back from our trip, and I think Boston or New York might have been worse
What do you mean?
with the humidity.
Oh, Boston's worse than New York?
I mean, we were by the water, so it wasn't as bad, but when we were in New York City, bro, it was brutal,
I know.
as you can imagine.
I
right?
remember. I remember.
You forget about that humidity.
Yeah. I
You know,
remember.
I was talking to Matt this morning.
Is he back?
No, he's in Dubai, because
Oh,
the
okay.
Dubai Pro is this
Okay.
weekend. It's Friday or whatever, because they're, you know, they run a day ahead or whatever, so they're about 12 hours, I think. Yeah, so I was talking to him, and he was talking about, man, like you walk outside and you're drenched. He said, you know, the temperature might be 100, but it says it feels like 136 or something.
Oh my God. Well, Sergio was saying that, right?
Yes.
When we saw him last weekend, he was like, "Oh
He
man."
said you can't believe how hot it is.
Yeah. Because
I
you
was
were asking.
I was watching him getting his therapy and thinking about the importance of tissue work,
Yeah.
and I think what people are missing. And you know, I know people talk about the lack of posing. I know people talk about, you know, the training principles. I think now, like we talked about Joe Weider's, you know, all his stuff, whatever it was called.
Joe Weider's training principle.
Yeah, like he took credit for like creating all these different variations of how you should train, whether it's drop sets or
Yeah.
supersets or whatever, right? But I feel like now there's so much bro science out there of certain things.
Yeah.
It's just like the eating thing. Like people asking me about fasting. Think about fasting
I know.
in our era, like when we were trying to put on mass.
That was never.
Never. Like if you didn't wake up in the morning, Dave, and eat within. Didn't you wake up just to eat
Yeah.
because you were that hungry?
Oh yeah.
So how is that even a topic and conversation for bodybuilding?
I don't know.
Very hard to even imagine.
It's so different.
It was
now.
more like, hey, let's eat round the clock. I mean, remember, we were taught early on, but I was starving in between meals. I mean, I think it's always good to walk away from a meal hungry, but it got later in my career that every meal I was stuffed.
I know.
And I hated that.
I know.
Unless I was really into that diet phase and I was, starting to deplete or whatever else. I don't know what the hardest diet I ever did was. That's another question people get. What's the hardest? Probably the 99 Ironman Arnold.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Because I did 50 grams of carbs
Oh, I
for
remember
3
that.
days, and then I'd go up to like 600, and then I'd bounce back down. And granted, my protein was through the roof, but I was doing 2 hours. I did 1 hour in the treadmill in the morning, 1 hour at night, but I'd get up at 4 in the morning, and I'd be in bed at 9.
Yeah.
And I would get up, do my hour of cardio, eat a meal, go train, eat a few more meals. I literally didn't leave the house for like, I want to say like 10 weeks, besides to get food.
Yeah.
But I put everything on hold, and I didn't have a lot going on at that time. Business was,
Yeah.
that was 99. So
You were just getting started.
I was kind of prepping to make the move to the West Coast.
That's right. That's when you shot the first DVD, the first video.
Yep. I kind of wish I would have made the commitment a little earlier, to be truthful.
What do you mean?
Like, I wish I would have decided before 25 to move.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, you guys had asked me about the, hey, regrets or whatever else. It's not even about competition, because once I got in the rhythm, it was great. I think I would have shifted. I was so scared to leave Massachusetts
It's a big move.
because of the comfort zone and
Yeah, family.
yes. The biggest fear is, what if I don't make it?
Of course.
I mean,
That is a fear.
once again, I think in 99 when I broke through and I was able to, get 4th at the Arnold and 3rd at the Ironman, and I was able to start, I knew, okay, I can start climbing, and, Chris, had so much confidence.
That's right.
But what really sucked is, I made the decision I did the Arnold in March, and I went to California for a photo shoot after, and that's where we did that classic, the picture that's at Fit Club with me on the hands on hips,
Yes.
with Per Burnell on the beach behind Ed Connor's house.
Yeah.
That's when I took those black and white pictures with the bike and all that.
Those were great.
That's when I made the decision. So I put the down payment on the place in Aliso Viejo. I had to put a deposit to secure because they were so booked out.
Yeah.
And that's when I made the decision. Then, of course, I went to Olympia in October and got smoked.
Right.
October, it was the end. The Olympia was almost the end of October then, Dave. You probably don't realize, because I did the Halloween themed the posing routine.
Okay.
So it was closer to end of October, which is, we talk about the shift, but
Yeah, that's when it used to be all the time before. Yeah.
well, it went from September.
Yeah.
Remember, it was on Sean Ray's birthday, and
Yeah.
like early September, I think. So anyway, that's when I made the final decision. But then it was like, I actually was like, man, I did really shitty at the Olympia.
Yeah.
Should I not go?
It's a mindfuck.
But it was already done.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so concerned about getting, a little reward, a little financial reward
Yeah.
to get the bump to move to California, and then, that was it. I went.
Well, that's a good thing you did.
Yeah.
What do you think it would have happened if you actually stayed in Massachusetts the whole time?
You know, dude,
Do you think about it?
I think I would have adapted to, I think no matter what, I would have had a happy life. I really think maybe it would have shifted and I would have had a family and
Maybe.
Just settled in to more of what the environment was. I think when I moved to Vegas and California, it was just like, it was so much go, go,
It's
go.
fast paced. Yeah.
It was very fast paced, and that's what people got to understand. It's easy for people to shout out and say, why wouldn't someone do this or that?
Yeah.
You got to understand the gun I was under with the guest appearances and
Yeah.
country to country, and listen, man, it puts a lot of strain on your friendships and relationships. And
You got so busy for a while. I remember when you won, dude. I mean, you were busy before that, but when you won, it was like nuts.
yeah, I mean, you were booking a lot of the stuff, so.
That was crazy.
Yeah, so a little insight about my mindset, guys, just, touching on a couple things because I see a lot of the comments on there,
Yeah.
which I appreciate so much. So
Yeah, thank you.
this is going to wrap it up for another week of our vlog. And once again, guys, thanks for following along. Make sure you guys comment and keep me posted on what your thoughts are, what you like, what you don't like. And make sure you share, like, subscribe, and we'll see you at the next week's vlog.
That's
man.
right. All right.
Keep crushing it. All right, guys, so we're back at Kilo Club. A little construction going on here right now.
Yeah.
The warm-up room.
You know what I was thinking on the way to the gym this morning? I was thinking about these videos, and because I kind of go through the motions of like what a video inspires people. Like, you visually now watch where we had to sit and look at books. Do you remember like the arm training and the chest training, the back training articles? And you literally study those and try to understand, like, I'm going to give an example, like Paul Dillette had the craziest arms, right? Mm-hmm. And it would break down, okay, preacher curls, standing bar curls, like dumbbell curl, how he twists, and the perfect like form to like, hey, this is what I do. These are like little tidbits of like information that give me an edge on training that body part. But isn't it funny that you look at certain people, if you looked at a body part in a magazine, like if they just showed a bicep, you knew who that guy was, right? Mm-hmm. Like everyone had such unique, they used to do those things like whose bicep is this, whose quad is this.
I remember.
You knew it exactly. Like that's how many few people they had featured around the cycles of the magazines. Whether you watched Muscle and Fitness and Flex, and then you watch MD and they had their specific people that they shot most of the time. And then Iron Man would have the Michael Nevue pictures, and then I mean, you had a couple smaller. What were some of the smaller magazines? Like, didn't Jason Mathis have a magazine for a while? But didn't like Bob Kennedy do Reps and like other small books?
Muscle Media 2000.
Yes.
Remember that? Bill Phillips.
Yep. And that would be like
good.
that would be the drug thing, right?
That's
Where
pretty
you,
good. Yeah.
But never like if you walked to a newsstand, what was the first magazine that you bought?
I would say it'd be a
Muscle Mag?
Muscle Mag and Flex. The two.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would choose Muscle Mag.
Because of the chicks.
No. There was more up-to-date information, I felt like. They had the gossip columns in there. They had new stars.
Yeah.
They had, it was less repetitive. A lot of new faces on there. They'd always highlight the new people, like the amateurs and stuff like that.
That's true. Whereas Flex,
had more of the people that were seasoned.
Yeah, that's true.
So like the Sean Rays and the Nassers and the Kevins of Flex, yeah. And after a while, you get so used to seeing those guys, so you want to see like new blood and see like the new guy that has the huge calves, right?
Yeah.
I remember when Kovacs came on in the books, and everyone's talking about how much he benched, and he was the world's biggest bodybuilder.
He was a favorite of Muscle Mag, that one.
I mean, he was on every page, right?
Yeah, and plus he was repping Muscle Tech also.
Which was fairly new. Yeah, they were on every page, right?
Man, Actually, a lot of people thought that Muscle Mag and Muscle Tech were kind of like one of the same.
But what I realized, a lot of my videos, you know, before we start, guys, is it's nice to point out why I do things and what I feel, because I think if I just show me training like I did through all my DVDs, it's not as informational, right?
That's right.
And I think that now people want to know, okay, why, Jay, do you do a reverse grip on the pull down, which is going to be the first thing we start with? And I do some explanation. Listen, a lot of it's repetitive if you watch some of my videos before, but I think a lot of these videos are getting seen for the first time. They're suggested to people. So today is going to be back training. I'm going to touch and feel how how to go with it. I know I'm going to start with this reverse pull down. I'm going to do this other pull down unit. I'm going to do some sort of rowing, maybe some seated cable rows.
I think people do appreciate you explaining a lot of what you do, which you never did on the videos.
I never did, because I used to say, don't talk to me, don't ask me questions. Now I rely on you. You know, we have that, obviously, 20 years of communication pretty much, you know. It's been over 20 years, hasn't it now?
Jeez, 2001, 2002.
Yeah, so.
22 years.
Yeah, so we are at Kilo Club, and what I just noticed is these kids just came in to try to buy a day pass, and it wasn't available. There are no day passes, guys.
Denied. which kind of sucks.
The owner's actually sitting over here. Jay's over here, and they're doing all this construction here. They're making a more of a, I don't want to say a WeWork, because I don't want to give that credit, but it's going to be more of a functional working area. That's why I was talking about, look at this. Look at the scenery, right?
It's nice to come in here and just chill.
You see that? You see that? That's a J bell right there. See, it says 4X on it. Can you read that 4X on it? The wood one right there. It says 4X. That's my J bell.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I have one at my office, and that's the other one right there.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I have my own J bell. So all right, we're gonna get cranking here. I'm already getting a sweat going. I took some pre-workout. So
okay.
We're gonna get this shit rocking.
All right.
All right, we've done this 100 times, but I'm going to explain it again. Okay, so reverse pull. Okay, when I talk about this exercise, this is a pull of the lats, okay? And we talk about, like, I compare a lot of the exercise I do and envision a lot of the poses. So front double bicep, right? We really want to flare the lats out. And this exercise helps me feel like I get that pull to create the, even though, listen, look at the movement. You're getting more thickness, right? So you're getting a lot of like mid-back, rhomboids, lower lats, depending on how you pull. I'm gonna hook these handles, and I'm gonna strap actually. So what this exercise is gonna do, it's gonna help pull those lats out. So this is always gonna be, when I talked about what I start with, certain movements, this was always the starter movement, although I used a cable pull with kind of a straight bar. Actually, I love this piece. This is a great hammer piece. Once again, I would suggest it in a gym if it's available, but I'm gonna start with 1 plate and a quarter, and then I'm gonna go up to 2 plates. I'm gonna do 2 feel sets. I'm gonna do 2 feel sets, and then I'm going to probably do 3 working sets. So let me do a couple sets with this weight, get the function kind of locked in, get my mind and to muscle connection, and then we'll roll with it. Is that music too loud, or it's okay?
No, it's good.
So just walking speeds. Too lazy to take these off and put the plates on, bro.
It's the same weight.
How about that theory though? You're not supposed to use 10s in the gym.
Who says that?
That was kind of the written rule.
I never heard that.
As a hardcore bodybuilder, you don't use 10s.
I never heard that.
Yeah. You only use 25s and 45s.
Oh, okay.
No 35s. Most gyms don't have 35s.
That's right.
What's the point, right?
Yeah. Good to know.
12.
Yep.
Did you count it or?
I did.
You're full of shit.
I did.
We're just talking about the podcast with Seth.
Yeah, Seth Ferosi.
And I started the podcast with you, motherfucker. Demonetize it, you know. Your favorite exercise?
That's a good machine.
This is better than the hammer row. I want to know if people agree with that. Anyone that's used the Techno Gym row. So what I'm going to focus on, guys, I'm going to grab this, but I'm going to hold the other one at the same time. I'm going to do single arms at a time. Okay, look at where I grab this handle though. I want people to pay attention to that. I grab it like not at the very top. It's easier when you grab it too high up here. So I'm gonna grab it like mid-range. I'm using these wraps. And I'm gonna focus on doing 10 or 12 reps each arm. Really get that squeeze. So sometimes 2 arms, this time 1 arm. I'm gonna go up a quarter. It's gonna be my max weight. Could I do 3? Yes. When you do the single arm at a time, wins you a little bit. So, and I'm out of condition a little bit. Like I said, I took a few days off when I was traveling, but we're back. We're back for back. We're gonna start with 2 plates. They're kind of lighter, but just kind of get the squeeze on this. So 3rd exercise. I gotta think about that for a second. So thinking that I want to do a barbell row today. Sometimes I like to switch it up. I've been staying away from dumbbell rows lately. I don't know why, but kind of been using that hammer machine as kind of the same. So same thing, grip on the middle of the handles, guys. Seat not too low. I want to make sure I get a full contraction on this. This machine's really good because it actually has a inward motion that really helps you squeeze the lats. All right, a little heavier set here. Focus on 8 or 10 reps. That was heavier.
Yeah, it looks heavy.
All right, so last set of the third exercise here. So what I'm trying to do is take ample time between sets, and everyone's times vary. I always say 45, 60 seconds, but it's pretty fast for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I think a minute, right? 60 seconds, good.
Max.
You think?
I think so. You're pretty quick.
No, but I'm saying, what do you suggest? I mean, some
No,
people-
I mean, if you're with a partner, that's about how long it takes, right,
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
a set. So.
Did you ever have a partner that forced repetitions for you? Like, say on the bench press, would they pull the bar up like
No.
rep after rep?
No.
I never trained like that either.
Yeah.
I don't believe in forced reps. Is that bad or?
No, it's just that's your way, you know.
I think it's surprising to a lot of people that I talk about. I didn't do drop sets or forced reps in my
Yeah,
career.
that's kind of different because
I think a lot of people have tried everything, right?
yeah, most people will do not all the time, but once in a while some supersets or giant sets or.
Do you remember everything used to be the Weider principles,
Oh yeah. Yep.
right?
Yeah.
He took credit for every principle there was, didn't
You
he?
sure did. Yeah.
Did you call them the Weider principles, or did you
No,
not?
no. I was aware of them, no, but I never called them that.
Really?
Yeah. Did you?
I did, because remember I was contracted.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had to.
Ah, yeah.
I had to utilize the Weider principles, bro.
Like you mean in a magazine, like you.
But I believed back then that that's what they were.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Well, I think he made them popular. I think he made them.
More recognizable.
Yeah, exactly.
I think so too.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna do reverse grip barbell rows. Now, we talk about grips on this. So I'm gonna use kind of a shoulder width. I'm gonna hook, and I'm gonna use my fingers as hooks. And I'm gonna pull to this area. Okay, I'm pulling to here. So, good foot base, 10 reps. And let's see what I got here. So check out the grip, just so you can see where the knurls are. So I'm about here. Easy. Easy. A little heavier. That felt good.
Not too easy.
I don't know if this would be approved in your training style.
Why? No, this is good.
You can't do bent rows.
Of course I can.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
When's the last time you did it?
Actually, not last week.
Sure.
I did at Fit Club
On your own?
on my own. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much?
It was, I think, like a plate 10.
Yeah.
Not much.
Dude, I used to do 4 plates on this shit.
Jesus. Yeah. When you were building your back, you built to kill Coleman.
Man, but I would feel like a fucking powerhouse when I did these, bro. The back pump I'd get, it was fucking crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like T-bar were really strong also.
Yeah,
T-bar.
but this exercise with the reverse
Yeah.
and engaging those lats, dude, sometimes I'll stop. You'll see me pause and I still get that feel when I lock in.
Yeah. That was one of Dorian's favorites
Dude, it's
also.
Just, you just can lock this so good.
Yeah.
Right there. More. So good. Okay, so we're gonna do a hyperextension, meaning we're gonna do a pull just for the lower lats. Okay, we do this with a rope, straight bar, shoot. What else? I mean, he kind of copies a pullover, but we usually use that pullover machine, but I'm gonna use this today. Focus on about 12 reps and really just try to get that stretch and contraction. Okay. All lats and lower lats. I see that stretch right there. Good. I'm feeling every squeeze right there. So last time we were training here, you went to Cheesecake Factory. What did you eat?
What did I have?
And did you have?
I think I had a
Dessert.
fish and chip. Fish and chip.
Oh, you
No,
did?
no dessert. Yeah.
You did have. So
Yeah.
you go to Cheesecake Factory, and you get fish and chips.
I don't always have that.
It's
but
like me. It's like me going and eating chicken and rice.
I know.
It's like you training triceps and hamstrings.
Yeah.
The awkward shit in life.
I know. There's such a big menu over there. You can never get bored. There's so much. to choose
That's the
from.
hard decision, you know. You know what Cheesecake Factory is probably the hardest place to eat it after a show,
Yeah.
because
You can eat that whatever you
you know,
want.
you imagine how many cheat meals you want to go through,
I know.
and all of a sudden, like, you have a menu like that, and it's
Yeah.
just, it's like never ending.
You're
options.
lost. Kind of.
Yeah, like, how do you decide?
Yeah. You want to eat everything. You were mostly thirsty after shows. I remember you
I know
always
I
being
was, but like,
thirsty.
I'm just saying for the normal person, I'm
Yeah,
fucked
yeah.
up, you know,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to include me.
Yeah.
But I'm saying anyone that wants to cheat on their diet, like, that's why I think someone like you or I moving from places where you didn't have Cheesecake Factory to having it, you're like, when you saw that menu, when I saw that menu in 1995, and I went and I saw, okay, you can eat all these cheesecakes. I remember every night I would try a different type of cheesecake.
Oh, you would?
Yes, and then I had that Muscle and Fitness cover shoot with the girl when I was like 21, and they called me like after 5 days of eating different cheesecake every night. And I said to Chris Cito, I said, how am I going to get this water off? He goes, are you gonna just take a little Diazide, little diuretic? And dude, it helped.
Wow.
But I wasn't in the shape, you know, of course.
You must have been
Show
full.
Saturday, and I think we did the shoot on like a Friday.
Okay.
The next week, so it's like I didn't really hold my condition, dude. I was like a machine. Like, I just drank and drank and
Yeah.
drank. You know how much water I would drink
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
day. I was that guy that drank like half a gallon with every meal. You know, if people say
Wow.
you're supposed to eat, I'm supposed to drink in between your meals.
Yeah.
I'd actually drink in my meals.
Wow.
So I'd have my gallon jugs. Remember, I would walk
Yep.
around with
Yeah.
the gallon jugs.
You were lunk.
Yeah.
That's what they call you at
Oh, really?
Planet Fitness. Lunk.
All right, pretty standard here. So 160, I'm gonna go to 180 here. All right, so what we're trying to do with this low cable roll, this is my preferred handle. Ropes, Wider grip. Some people like underhand. I've done it all. For some reason, I still like this one the most. So the closer handle. I think this is more of a like a depth exercise, front to back thickness, but necessary. I mean, if you did back training, I'm sure every workout you'd probably do these, right?
Yeah, that's
Pretty much.
for sure. Yeah.
Or you do single arms, right?
I don't usually do single arms, but I like this one.
All right, so Dave, we're gonna do something a little different. So I have the J bells here. These aren't the Jay Cutler bells, but the J bells. And what I'm gonna focus on is kind of a reverse curl, a reverse pull on the incline bench. So what's ideal about using these, once again, the dumbbells would hit that. See that bar hanging out?
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is just do a kind of reversed, kind of supinate my wrist, hang my chest over the top, okay? And when I hung back, you're gonna see so my palms are gonna pull up like this.
So you twist.
More of a finisher, contraction.
Looks good, no?
So I'll do 3 sets of this. I don't know how many reps that were, but
12.
yeah, so I'm doing more. You can see I'm slowing it down and contracting a little more. Great exercise to kind of finish off a good back day. So we did reverse pulls, pull downs, rows, bent over row, C cable row, hyperextensions, this. A lot of exercises. I was always the volume guy, right?
Yep.
What's the longest workout you've ever done? Can you remember?
I mean, whenever we train, it's at least, we're in the gym for at least 2 hours. So.
Which I think is too much, right?
It's a long time, yeah.
Okay. Position. Good. All right, so once again, we're gonna finish this workout with
How long?
20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Actually, you know what? I skipped this morning, so I didn't do
more.
it this morning.
Why
Don't
not?
forget, guys, I always have the Jay Cutler straps here. Make sure you show those bad boys. Those are available
Merlin
on my
loves
website.
those. He's always wearing them. Merlin.
No, he wears the leather ones.
Oh, right. Yes, that's right.
So what we're gonna do is, I'll probably do, 20, 30 minutes. Just kind of wrap it up. Like I said, I try to do 2 sessions of 20 minutes a day. But what happens is if I train after meal 1 today. So ideally, it wouldn't be the smartest idea for me to do 20 minutes prior to my meal and 20 minutes after training after 1 meal. It doesn't make sense when I'm still trying to, remember my whole idea of right now is to gain muscle fullness. And as we know, cardio is pretty counterproductive with that. So,
Yeah.
So once again, guys, thanks for following along our vlog. There'll be some jaywalking in here. This will probably wrap up the video, right?
Yep.
So, we appreciate everyone that's participated in all the things we're doing with YouTube.
The comments.
Yeah, comments.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are always supporting and giving us something to, you know, something to look forward to, so we can kind of go back and forth and support whatever your dreams and aspirations are. So keep crushing it. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow, share the video, comment below some of the stuff you agree, disagree, and we'll see you back at the next week, Tuesday.
All right.
On our vlog. So thank you.
Very cool.
No mercy for you, no worries for you. That Game of Thrones, go Cersei on you. I flipped the script, I roll the dice. Don't fall asleep, cause I'm working nights. Hey, you trying to shut me